Canadians are watching very closely. Obviously, everyone in China should be allowed to express themselves, should be allowed
That's
to
not the real me over there. That's
share
not the real me.
their perspectives and indeed protest. We're going to continue to ensure that China knows we'll stand up for human rights.
Don't listen to this guy right here.
People who are expressing themselves. We also need to make sure that China and places around the world are respecting journalists and their ability to do their job.
Respect journalists. Okay, hold on. I'm sorry, everybody. First of all, I'm sorry I was late because I thought I had the right video up, but what I actually had was my supercut. That wasn't the video that I wanted to show. I wanted to show the montage of Justin Trudeau being the most gaslighting hypocrite on the face of the earth. So that was a video, that was a highlight from one of the streams of last week, which I put on Viva Clips, which are the shorter clips from the longer streams. But the reason why I wanted to show the montage was because I made it into Fox News again. I made it into Fox News, all for the right reasons. Let me just see if I can't find the actual clip. Fox News was doing a piece on what a gaslighting hypocrite Justin Trudeau is. And the article, are we looking at the same thing here? Yeah, this is it. The article, this is the article. Trudeau apparently has taken heat, you know, for supporting the protests in China while literally violently suppressing protests in Canada. And the week after he testified in the Emergencies Act Commission in Canada that protesting to effect change to public policy is something that is worrisome. So they ran this article, and I get a Google notification because, you know, I put out my name for Google notifications for the news. You got Dr. Ellie David condemning Justin Trudeau's hypocrisy. And then you've got Viva Frei, an attorney and conservative commentator, also blasted the Canadian Prime Minister as a tyrant. Hypocrite, tyrant, gaslighting abuser, thy name is Justin Trudeau. Trudeau supports protests in China, just not in Canada. Hashtag meanwhile in communist Canada, he tweeted. And that was that was the clip.
Canadians are watching.
And yeah, we don't need to do that again. We live in an absolute ridiculous clown world. It's they come and they lie to your face. And I mean, it's the old communist expression. They're lying. We know they're lying. They know we know they're lying. And yet they continue to lie. And tonight we're going to Jewish lawyer David Frei. And I don't know if that was meant as a serious dig or as a jab at Gab. I think this is a jab at Gab because I don't. What's up with the oy veys here? Yeah, no, so, all right, that was our intro. They lie to our face and they expect us to believe their lies. And we're going to get into a lot of that right now because the Twitter files, they've caused a rift in the fake news space-time continuum. The reaction to it, but we're going to go over it because not everybody lives on Twitter and not everybody walked through it. We're going to go through it. The reaction to it is the stuff out of, if it were a movie, you would say, it's too stupid. They can't possibly, you know, it's too cliched. Instead of addressing the scandal, the blue checkmark ivory tower journalists are sitting there insulting the messenger, and we're going to see it. They're ignoring the last 2 years of news. They're ignoring articles from the time which confirm everything that they have been denying, and now they've got to turn around and move the goalposts, shift the arguments. And we're going to get into the shifting arguments. Shifting argument now is it's not a First Amendment violation when Twitter does it because it's a private company. And even if they do things at the request of the government wasn't compelling them to do it. So it's not state action. Yeah, we'll get there. But no Barnes, oy vey is right. Okay, Dr. Frei. Barnes is in transit tonight. And I was going to cover some of the stories, but we're going to cover them tomorrow. And I didn't know, is it more discombobulating to the ecosystem to just not have a Sunday night stream. So I figure I'm going to do a stream. We're going to go over the Twitter files. We're going to go over the legal arguments. We're going to go over the moving goalposts. We're going to go over the shameless hypocrisy and more. And a couple of articles that are just, I don't know what the world is proving anymore. Now, let me see something here before we go any further. Usually when I start with an ugly video of Justin Trudeau, I immediately get demonetized. We're still good. There is no sponsor for tonight's stream, except my own product, our own product, people. Let me see where the Viva Frei website is. Here, everybody, I have never gone anywhere with this shirt and not had someone say, I agree with that shirt. I always get a little nervous if they're going to go to the channel afterwards and say, dude's been ruined by politics. I don't think I have been ruined by politics yet. But politics has ruined my otherwise rosy, pink goggles, whatever the hell the expression is, view of the world. But if you want to get your own merch or other, I do a bad job letting the world know we have merch. It's on a website called vivafrei.com, self-explanatory. Politics ruins everything. Undoubtedly is the most popular shirt we've ever made. And I do not go anywhere with this shirt without someone saying, I like your shirt. They may not like it quite so much if they, once they watch some of my streams, because they might think I'm too political, but too bad. So, standard disclaimers. Yeah, I also realized it said, I'm an idiot. I don't know why it said 1830 on YouTube when it's supposed to be 6 o'clock and should have been 6 o'clock. And I changed it to 6 o'clock and maybe people are going to get a late notification. You see, a no. Oh, I was reading a no TC, but now I understand what that means. Yeah, well, too bad. What's done cannot be undone, but what's done can certainly be lamented over and railed against for the rest of my existence, people. For the rest of my existence. Viva Barnes, YouTube School of Law. Okay, so while everyone trickles in, and maybe I retweeted it to let everybody know it was 6 o'clock and not 6:30, but whatever. Barnes is on tomorrow night. I was hoping to have a surprise guest tonight. Not going to happen. So it's just going to be us, all of us, talking about the Twitter files and other stuff. We're going to get to other stuff. Good news. We're not talking about Kanye West tonight. I think Kanye, we've talked about it long enough. He's, as far as I know, been silent for a few days. My only prediction, the only way out of this for Kanye is, and not to suggest it has to be a dishonest, because I think it's going to be the honest, sincere thing. Time off, explanation of some mental break, whatever that was, stress or other, and apologies, because that's it. But Twitter, people, in about 15 minutes, we're going to go over to Rumble exclusively. The link is in the pinned chat. I just flipped over to Rumble and there's a Rumble rant. Super chats, YouTube takes 30% of super chats. If you don't like that, we are simultaneously streaming on Rumble. They take 20% of the equivalent called Rumble rants. Better for the creator, better to support a platform that actually supports free speech. And what I was about to say was no medical advice, no legal advice, no election fortification advice. There will, however, be thorough critique. There's a $1 Rumble rant. It says, touch the riot. Do not suspend the Sunday show. It's the only one I can watch without fail. Glad you decided to fly solo. All the same. I was thinking about having a guest and trying it, and it didn't work. And whatever. Max Daigle would be a great guest. This is a $1 rant from Chet Chisholm. He is the founder of the Canadian Adverse Event Reporting System. Screen grab, and I'm going to see if I can get him on. XSSF did it. Diat says, when will Justin admit his mother had an affair with Fidel and he's his father? God, that would be amazing. If and I don't know how you how you determine things like that. They have Fidel Castro's DNA somewhere, so maybe they get like a can that Justin Trudeau was drinking, do some DNA tests, and history is written. Dostalov Mankari, I see it. I see your avatar, but I don't see the super chat. It's right here. Keep fighting conservative commentary. Who do they think they're lying to? I'm far right, apparently. Someone else called me far right. We're going to get into it. Okay, let's start from the beginning. And we're going to start with one article on the jibby jab. I see an article come out. I have to go read it because okay. Are we seeing the same thing here? Let me see this here. Yeah, we are. Okay. So this is an article I saw in the Mail Plus. Don't know what it is, but I mean, it's the Daily Mail Plus. But I had to go archive it because I couldn't get past a block. Matt Hancock. So this is the article, people. Colleagues mocked my faith in the vaccine. So I see the header, I see the title, and I'm not sure if this is going to be a critique or support. Because my first reaction is one is not supposed to have faith in science. One is supposed to believe in science because evidence has been produced, adduced, demonstrated. It's having faith in science. I cannot think of an analogy, but faith and science are mutually exclusive. Science is supposed to root out and set aside faith. There is no room for faith in science. It's either science-based, proven, tested, demonstrably true, and repeatable, or it's faith. And there's nothing wrong with faith, but I don't want to have faith in science. So I see this article and I start reading it. Matt Hancock claims he was ridiculed in Westminster for believing in the vaccine and recounts weeping on live TV the day the first doses were administered. Don't know why he was weeping. I had to continue reading. The former health secretary says in his diaries that in the months before the first vaccine was approved, he faced opposition from skeptics, including inside NO10. But on December 1st, the UK became the first country in the Western world to authorize the Pfizer and BioNTech jab. This, I'm not pulling up the Albert Bourla video again. This, despite the fact that it was very counterintuitive. We have no experience with mRNA vaccine in delivering vaccine. At least 2 years we have experience with this. It has never delivered one dose of vaccine in humans. But people were skeptical. I'd say they were realistic. I'd say the skeptics were realistic. But let's just see. They did it. It's a miracle. It's a miracle. Within less than a year, they made a vaccine for a coronavirus when for the last decade plus, they've never been able to make a vaccine for a coronavirus due to the highly evolutionary nature, mutative nature of coronaviruses. As a rule, somehow they did it. The one I've come across an expression that I'm trying to internalize and digest, and I know it's a conspiracy theory, but it's fun nonetheless to entertain thoughts. Someone said, once you understand that the Rona was created for the vaccine and not the vaccine for the Rona, then it all makes sense. And it's an interesting science fiction way of looking at things. Or at least if one were going to write a dystopian novel about a government engineering a virus so they could then justify implementing the dystopia that we've gone through, it would make for a compelling science fiction novel. I'm still trying to grasp, grapple with that one. I like the concept is nice for a science fiction movie. The only question is it applicable? And if it is, how much of a black pill suppository is it? And we'll see. I just want to get, we're just reading through this because most people just read the headline. They mocked his faith in the vaccine, huh? Hancock describes the scenes of elation as he announced the news in the cabinet room, recalling that Boris Johnson danced a jig. There's a visual. And his embarrassment as he blubbed on television when the first Briton was inoculated on V-Day. Isn't somebody said, what's her name? Geez, Louise, Dover. What's her first name? Brittany Dover? Let me see if the chat knows. So someone starts off their streams. Where's Brittany Dover? I believe that's it. Let me see if someone's going to get her name. Tiffany Dover. It was Tiffany Dover. $10 Rumble Rant says, AWOH Hwalifer, Rumble Rants are better. Agreed. Where's Tiffany Dover? Turn my phone on mute. Let's just get back to that article. Oh, see, this is why I can't bounce around. Okay. Gina Collins. Okay, fine. He also reveals how he feared the rollout would have to be canceled because 3 early recipients had serious reactions, and his relief when it turned out they could continue after all. Let's they just mentioned that, hey? When does he start blubbering? It doesn't matter. Borns dance the jig. We know this. We know this is the only way out. So many people feared it would never happen. But here it is, the first in the world in under a year. Oh my God, it's almost too good to be true. It almost sounds like it's too good to be true. Then suddenly Mr. Hancock continues. Whatever here. He goes and he says, suddenly I completely lost it, blubbing away, battling to regain my composure as tears streamed down my face as they're administering the first doses. I'm not saying it's sake, pull yourself together, I told myself desperately. Then the camera was back on me, my microphone was live, and my watery red eyes were there for all to see. Gina said at least I'd shown how I felt. Oh, the virtue signaling. Let's just read here. At the time, he was accused of faking tears or forcing viewers of breakfast television to watch the awkward, cringy moment. How do they end the article? With a little detail. He also revealed he felt physically sick after receiving an 11:43 p.m. call from Professor Chris Whitty, telling him 3 of the 400 vaccinated on the first day had a massive reaction. Oh, I'm sorry. That's like 1%. That's like 1 in 100 of the first people get. Oh, but don't worry. Mr. Hancock's diary entry reads, we may well have to halt the entire vaccination rollout. Why? Because 3 out of 400 people on the first day of vaccination had massive reactions. I'm sorry. That would be enough to end trials, typically. Oh, no, but that's after the miracle breakthrough, after they've done their trials, the first day of the rollout. 3 out of 400, by their own admission, had a massive reaction. But first thing the following morning, a member of Mr. Hancock's private office rings. All 3 had a clinical history of anaphylaxis, he says. But I can't remember ever being so relieved in my life. Oh, I was so relieved. 3 of the 4 had a history of anaphylaxis, took the jab anyhow, and had a massive reaction. Gee, I wonder how many other people on Earth have a history of something and were compelled, coerced, or forced to undergo the jab. I wonder how many. How many people had an anaphylaxis? Oh, by the way, interesting to note, it says they had a history of anaphylaxis. It doesn't say that they had an anaphylactic shock or an anaphylaxis reaction to the jab. It doesn't say that. It says they had a history of anaphylaxis. That does not necessarily correlate to them having had anaphylactic shock from the jab. 3 of the 400 who had pre-existing conditions had massive reaction to the jab on the first day of the rollout, and then it was coerced on 4 billion people. Nothing to see there, folks. I'm sure nothing could possibly have happened to the billions of people who were coerced into it and were not given exemptions, medical exemptions, because of history. I'm sure. Oh, but don't get angry, Viva. You have to thank them for the opportunity to have been part of the biggest experimentation in real time. Quoting Obama. Don't anyone get mad at me. I'm just quoting Obama. Thank them for the luxury. At least we get to be part of the history books. Okay, you say sing it. Hold on. I wanted to bring this up. Sing it, brother. I want to sing it. I want to raise my blood pressure my blood pressure is not high, by the way. My vitals are all good. My blood is good. My urine is good. I'm still doing good. I still, other than psychological sleep pattern. That's the biggest thing. Okay, hold on. Super chats. Pasha Moyer says, Viva, I must disagree. Blind faith is antithetical to the scientific method, but faith, warranted belief, can be held at the same time as scientific belief. Also, science isn't a thing. We're agreeing, but it's just semantics. One can have faith in the process, but not faith in a. You can have faith. You can have faith. I understand your point. I still do. I disagree. I say I don't need to have faith. I need to know that the process is being followed, and more importantly, maybe I need to have faith that the results are going to be challenged, scrutinized, and everyone's going to be able to express their opinion on it. Dassel Fakman says, far right. Oh, apparently we don't know up from down. Does this mean I can fall up? Is that flying? Your question marks are upside down, which that is confusing to me. That's cool. Flying is not a side. Flying is a side effect of not getting jibby jabbed. Thank you very much, Dustin Love. What do we got here? A fuzzy creature says, I watched the Monk debate with Taib Murray versus Malcolm Gladwell and default liberal. Malcolm Gladwell came off horrible. I'm gonna have to see what that was. Viva Frei, did you heart about the infant in New Zealand? Oh, did I hear about the infant in New Zealand? I don't think I did. It depends which one you're talking about, Jared. Please tell me which one you're talking about. Is it the infant who had a period, or is it a worse story? Because if it's a worse story, I don't know. I want to hear about it right now. Okay, I'm gonna look in the chat to see what the infant was. Let's to make it simple, everybody. Let's go over to Rumble right now, because it's going to be a long, not stream of consciousness, but there's not necessarily going to be any time. That's going to be better to break. Let's go over to Rumble. Let me see what the infant situation is in New Zealand, but I'll have to go look. And by the way, I certainly don't agree with the guy you quoted. His logic was as twisted as his philosophy. Pasha, hey, we could, even if we disagreed, and I don't think we do, it's possible to disagree with someone without disagreeing with someone. Well, like, I'm always nervous because I gave Elon, I don't know which tweets he sees and which he doesn't, but I gave Elon a bit of a hard time on the Ye suspension, not because I agree with anything Ye said, but because I don't agree with the suspension, or at least the rules that seem to be being applied willy-nilly. It's fine to scrutinize people, and I expect to be scrutinized as well. So it's not because we disagree on any given issue that we are not part of a community that is actually looking to further our understanding. Oh, the baby was taken from the folks who did not want vax blood for the I did hear about that. So let's, you know what? Let's go over to Rumble right now. I'll give everybody the link one more time. I'm going to pull up that article. I didn't hear the latest developments, but I heard the parents were refusing a transfusion. Link is there. See you all on Rumble in 3. Just want to make sure I didn't leave any Rumble rants here, super chats here. 3, head over to Rumble. 2, 1,700 people have to be there in 3 minutes. 1 minute, 1761. Add it to the Rumble. 1, see you on Rumble. Remove